The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Tune in Wednesday nights on the iRacing Esports Network to watch the cars and stars of Lionheart, the Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment.
Last week in Rockingham, we got a blast to the past with some fantastic side-by-side battles up front, mostly among drivers from Texas. Tonight, the blast to the past becomes a trip home for many of those drivers, as a pack of Toyota Tundras and Chevy Silverados roars into the city of Fort Worth for Round 3 of the Precision Racing League NASCAR Truck Series. Hello and welcome to the Great American Speedway here in Cowtown, where the Global SimRacing Channel will bring you all of the Round 3 action on track in the next hour or so. Up in the booth on top of this high-capacity grandstand tonight is yours truly, Nick Schmeg, and I'm being joined alongside by Adam Lindgren. Sean Crackers Ambrose will be our director tonight, as well as Lone Star State Expert, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Adam, intermediate tracks sometimes get a bad rap in the world of stock car racing, but here in the trucks, Texas seems to provide some consistently remarkable racing. Why don't you tell us a little more about the venue they're up against tonight?
Well, Nick, these drivers will be up against high banking and rapid speeds tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway, with a massive 2,200-foot front straight and a shorter 1,300-foot back straight and two 750-foot radius turns. This Fort Worth, Texas oval was founded in 1995 and hosted its first NASCAR event in '97. Tonight, we add an extra half mile to last week's rock, totaling 1.5 miles or 2.4 kilometers, making this the longest track so far for our Precision Racing League truckers. Texas is long, yes, but the steep banking of Rockingham makes its return, with turns 1 and 2 in a 20-degree bank and turns 3 and 4 in a 24-degree bank, and that extra length adds one crucial element: speed. This is one of the fastest circuits on the PRL calendar this year. These trucks will be clocking in lap times around 30 seconds, or an average speed of over 180 miles per hour. At these speeds, these drivers will have their hands full in the pack tonight. And to see how they'll cope with the conditions, we're going to go for a ride around Texas Motor Speedway in a NASCAR Gander Series truck in our GSRC lap guide.
Hello, I'm James Krahula, and I'm going to take you for a lap around the virtual Texas Motor Speedway in the GSRC Silverado. Everything is bigger in Texas, and so are the speeds. And with the amount of downforce that these trucks have, look for the first couple laps for these trucks to just keep completely planted down there, going into the turns, running the first couple laps completely wide open. Something that you really need to watch for with this track is the bumps. This track has some age on it, and especially down in 1 and 2, and now starting to develop here in 3 and 4. When you go over the tunnels that they have there in the turns, you definitely have a bump in the middle of 1 and 2, and starting to develop here in 3 and 4. One other thing you really need to watch here at the Great American Speedway is these exits. They end very abruptly, and it is very easy to get into that outside wall there. Off of 2 and coming up here into turn 4 as well. The track just kind of falls out really quickly, so you definitely need to make sure that you are on top of it and you're taking a good line, because that wall, it falls out quick and you can find yourself up there ending your day prematurely. Look for these trucks to possibly get side by side. You can make that outside line work here in Texas if the conditions are right. And again, keep your truck out of trouble, get the right line, keep that speed up, and you can find yourself in victory lane here at the Texas Motor Speedway.
And that lap guide, as well as this entire broadcast tonight, is brought to you by Established Traffic Control. Founded in 2005, Established Traffic Control is a leader in traffic control and traffic safety in the state of Pennsylvania through maintaining great relationships and providing exceptional customer service. In addition to being able to provide all you need for traffic safety, ETC makes custom signs, from street signs to company logos and everything in between. These custom signs make great gifts and wall decor. If you have a design, ETC can make it. Shipping is available. For more information, visit establishedtraffic.com or email Brendan Chatley at bchatley@establishedtraffic.com. Adam, we are always picking up new viewers here on the Global SimRacing Channel. If they're not familiar with this event tonight, why don't you tell us a little more about that with the race details?
Definitely, we have some things that are a little bit different tonight. Tonight is round 3 of the PRL Trucking Racing Series. We have the Silverado and the Tundra as our representative trucks tonight. The setups are fixed, and there's restricted fuel, only 70% max fuel, so they are going to have to pit. Max incidence is only 13, so you don't have a lot of mistakes to play with. There are no fast repairs, and you do have 1 drop week as well. And so it's going to be an interesting race tonight to see whether or not some of the guys can make it out of here without getting DQ'd. With the races we've seen, the close racing has provided some entertainment, but let's see how the points are doing right now, Nick. What do you think?
Well, like you said, we are only 2 rounds into this, so it's still hard to tell, but Bradley Holly, after his win last week at The Rock, he is on top of the point standings, moving all the way up there 3 spots. Dominic Bagine, he is the only driver that has finished in the top 5 in both Martinsville and Rockingham so far in the season. So he's got consistency, still looking for that win, though. Nick Delp right behind him, only 2 points further back, 1 point further back, Charles Sumner, and Thomas Sink has bumped into the top 5. If you're wondering where your Martinsville winner, John LaBaff, is, he fell all the way down to 9th in the standings, so things very tight here to kick things off. But we do also have a team's championship they're fighting for.
Definitely, and we do have the team's championship. It is going to be Texas Racing in the lead right now. Bradley Hawley and Austin Hunt are currently on that team. We have Car Ramrod featuring Charles Sumner and Nicholas Delp in 2nd position in the team's championship. We also have Dominic Bagine and Mike Richter on Left Lane Motorsports in 3rd, Thomas Sink and Colton Lane on Back Row Racing in 4th, and William Hartman and Ray Richer in Savage Drive, and they are in the 5th position. Sorry, we don't have a graphic for that, but those are the positions right now.
They are indeed, these teams fighting for quite a bit on track. Qualifying right now, wrapping up. Bradley Holly is at the top of that, so all of his momentum at Rockingham Really looking forward, like he's going to move into the lead here, or stay in the lead here. Mike Richter behind him, J.R. Smith in third right now, but time's very tight here at Texas.
Yeah, very tight indeed. 29.675 being the fastest lap, all the way down to 29.959. We're taking a look at Brendan Shatley, who's just putting in a lap. He just did a 29.803 for his final lap there. That's going to put Shatley all the way down in about 9th position, yeah. So that's not super great for him, but I mean, like, all of the racers are within 0.3 right now, so that's very close.
Yeah, there's only so many lines you can take here at Texas in the trucks. It's a pretty straightforward track, and it does create for a lot of close times. We're going to see a bit of pack racing, I think, tonight. Not on a Daytona or Talladega level, but it's going to be some fantastic racing, to say the least, in these trucks. I believe that is going to wrap up qualifying, so let's take a look at our starting grid. Bradley Holly, your winner last week in the Rockingham. He's going to be on the pole with Mike Richter in the 51 to his outside. J.R. Smith, he's looking for a slam dunk tonight. He starts third with Sharn Hill aside him. Charles Sumner will round out the top 5. Nick Delp is going to be to his right, just 3/100ths of a second off that time. Thomas Sink and Will Hartman are going to make up row 4, and Brendan Chatley and Eric Roberts will comprise row number 5.
Absolutely. Then we have Alex Lumpkin starting on row number 6 alongside Colton Lane in 12th position. Baker's dozen goes to Danny Duchesne. And then we have Rob Haynes alongside him in 14th position. Starting row 8 is Brian Benedict, Austin Hunter alongside him. We have Robert Bassad Jr. down there in 17th, along the stretch from where he was last week at the front of the pack. And Ray Richard down in 18th. 19th is going to be Ronald McManus. And Dominic Begine will round out your row 10.
21st and 22nd to round out the field. John LaBaff, your Martinsville winner, is going to be way back there in 21st. He's the last driver to get a lap time in. Robert Waddell did not set a qualifying lap. He'd like to start from the rear tonight in the number 32 truck, so that driver out of the Carolinas has some work to do, but trucks are beginning to roll. They have 85 laps ahead of them. That's about 125 miles, give or take a few.
Yeah, and hopefully we won't have a rain-shortened race this week. It looks like we have plenty of time for cautions, so fortunately we're gonna be able to race hard and really give it their all tonight. You know, close pack racing is very exciting, and hopefully these guys will be able to keep it clean, keep it close, and we'll see the checkered flag this week true.
We might start seeing a bit of strung-out single-file racing if tires start to become a factor, but we are going to have to require a dozen or so green flag laps for that to happen. It's going to make strategy all the more interesting tonight. They do have to pit with that fuel, with that maximum fuel limit as well. But right now, through turns 3 and 4, Bradley Holly follows the iRacing Mustang pace car. Mike Richter to his outside. He's been looking fast the last couple of rounds, but he is still looking for that first win of the season. Into turn number 4. And on to the quad oval here on the front stretch. The green flag is going to fly here at Texas Motor Speedway, and away they go. The 33 of J.R. Smith giving a great push to Holly down the front stretch. That outside line did not get going well.
Not at all. Looks like Holly is going to jump. Holly's jumped out front here, and J.R. Smith has hung in behind him. Look at him push Holly down the straight here. He's got him on the back straight. The back straight is shorter than the front straight and that quad oval, so he's going to fall in behind and see whether he can get him on the front.
J.R. Smith had quite a lot of draft there to work with on the backstretch. Might have been able to duck down and take the lead, but it's going to go to Bradley Holly leading lap number 1. They start to go single file a little more beside him. The first double file action we have is the 48 of Thomas Sink and the 5 of Sharn Hill battling for 5th right now.
Definitely, and we're going on board with J.R. Smith right now. He's in the preferred line at the top of the racetrack. You may think, oh, is that really the preferred line? It gets you the best slingshot off the corner, and for these long straights, you need all that momentum. So, but it looks like they're going to stay side by side right now with Thomas Sink and Sharn Hill. And it looks like Sharn Hill's actually, Charles Sumner might have a good pull there as well.
The gaps are just wide enough for it to become a little difficult to get some toe down the straightaways here. Right now, the gap in between first and second very short. J.R. Smith has kept Bradley Holly within tow. He just can't quite seem to get around him yet.
I'm taking a look on board Holly inside, taking a look back, look just over that spoiler, and you'll see J.R. Smith just peeking around the outside there. I think he's deciding to stay in line right now and just take care of his stuff, and he knows that if they draft and they get that arrow, that little bubble right there behind Bradley Holly's car, and he can really give him a push forward, they can get out in front of everybody and maybe gap the field a little bit, break that trap, and pull away.
And J.R. Smith doing a great job right now. There is a little bit of aero push for all of our open wheel fans here at Texas. Bit of a battle for P7 going on as well right now.
Yeah, it looks like Nicholas Delp and Alec Lumpkin, well, Nicholas Delp was back there, and it looks like it's William Hartman, actually, who's trying to hang on to the back of this pack right now. They're getting a little bit bunched up right there behind Thomas Sink. And then here we are looking at Eric Roberts as well, battling with Colton Lane and Brendan Chatley right now for 10th position, and that's where the biggest gaggle is right now on the track as they go into one.
Yeah, definitely a lot of side-by-side action there through the quad oval. A tri-oval is a little bit easier to go side-by-side in my opinion. It's another sharp, jagged turn they have to take on the front stretch here. That long front stretch like you were talking about makes it that much more difficult to get a good arc into turn number 1 and 2.
All right, here we go up to P4, looking at Charles Sumner, who is currently right up behind Mike Richter there, trying to make a... Oh, wait, actually, he's being attacked by Thomas Sink. Thomas Sink is looking at the bottom side right now. They're going to go into turn 3, and Thomas Sink really on a charge here, just like last week.
Sink goes down to that white line. He has the 5 of Sharon Hill and the 7 of Hartman behind him. All 4 of those trucks in a line right now, drafting with each other. It's hard to make a move because you know that if you do and it doesn't work out, the guy behind you is going to pounce on you within second.
With the speed so high and these trucks so heavy and the amount of air that they push, it really, if you lose momentum, you're out of luck. You're going to go back in the pack and you're going to get shuffled back pretty far. So these guys staying in line might actually be the best thing for them as far as racecraft goes. Wow, take a look at that. Sumner getting extremely loose there at the front.
The 98 going to make a move around the 51 of Richter, and like I said, it's going to be a train of trucks to follow him because Thomas Sink already peeking underneath. They are side by side behind him though with Hartman and Hill, so that might stall out there for a moment. But that's Richter's 2 spots lost there.
Yeah, and Richter's actually looking back on the inside of... Yeah, he's looking right down there on the inside of Sumner right now. He's going to actually retake that position after that mistake through 4.
Sharon Hill taking a peek down there into turn 1 to try to get around Thomas Sink ahead of him. That didn't quite work out for him. That would be a position for 5th if he could make that work.
Yeah, he's definitely trying a lot of... Actually, we have a battle for the lead going on right now. J.R. Smith has gone to the inside of Bradley Holly, and they're going crazy down this quad oval.
Oh, they are indeed side by side. That time by Bradley Holly still led that lap, but on to lap 11, J.R. Smith has the preferred line. He's going to get pinched down here just a little bit by Holly, but he's gotten a big run. He muscles that 3,500-pound truck out of the turn and takes the lead right as the caution comes out. This is a big wreck in turn 2.
It looks like
We've
John
got McManus, LaBaff, Duchesne, Begine,
Brian Benedict. A lot of trucks in this one.
Looks like it started with the 66 of Begine. He was on the outside, and it looked like Danny Duchesne. This was a battle for 14th at the time. Duchesne looked underneath and may have washed up a bit, and chaos ensued.
Wow, yeah. You see them just stack up there. It's absolutely crazy. You know, that's just a symptom of that tightness that you were talking about before the race started. As these tires start to wear off, you get tight going in on the bottom of the corner. And so here they go, here we go, Danny Duchesne underneath, and whammo, right up into the side there. And absolutely just a sad event, and then it just continues to unfold and continues to unfold for a couple laps here.
Brian Benedict may have taken the hardest shot there in the 712. He was way back in 21st, I want to say at the time, and thought he was going to get through it on the apron, but the 911 of John LaBaffe came down and gave him a shot into that inside wall.
Here we take a look at Benedict as he comes in, and he's just approaching this accident. He backs off, and he just can't get low enough as that car, Brian Benedict, just as the 911 of John LaBaffe came down.
Pit stops are going on right now as we go live. I think everyone came in there.
You'd be
Looks
correct
that way. J.R. Smith, after taking the lead, he's also the first one out of the pits. Bradley Holly follows him, and Thomas Sink gains himself a spot.
Yeah, it looks like for the most part the position stayed the same there. No big surprises coming off of pit road. Everyone took tires. Everyone took 4, and they're going to go back out there and tackle this big, mile and a half again.
I think the biggest loss there on pit road was Mike Richter in the number 51. He came in 3rd. He exited 8th, so a big loss for him in his stop there. But like you said, everyone else looked pretty clean in the pits. I don't know if the 51 slid through the box there or what happened, but definitely some problems on pit road. Yeah,
so our biggest movers right now are Thomas Sink, who's up to 3rd position. He's moved up 4 positions right now. We also have William Hartman back in the 5th position. He's up 3 spots from the beginning of the race. And actually, Rob Haynes in 9th position. Rob Haynes is up 5 spots from the beginning of the race. That is a very impressive first stint.
The trucks and the drivers already onto the backstretch, and pace lights already off. Down to 18 trucks remaining on the lead lap. The damage we saw at Martinsville and Rockingham was minimal, with the tracks being a mile or less. But here at Texas, we might see some big crashes causing big damage, and I think that was the first little taste of that we saw. John LaBaffe has already retired from tonight's event. Benedict as well, I believe, is going to follow him. But right now, we are getting set to go back green for this race. They're going to come up to lap number 15 out of 85. Pace car pulls down onto the apron, and it's a quick jump from J.R. Smith. The green flag is out, and Bradley Holly, before they even get to the line, slots down in on that inside, and the top 5 or so go single file very quickly.
Yeah, I think they saw the effect of how effective that draft was, and they know that being double file right now is actually just going to be slower. So everyone's just making sure that they can stay competitive by staying single file, and the closest battle we have right now is, goodness, is way back in for 7th position, I believe.
Everyone reset on fresh tires as well.
It's actually Mike Richter above Rob Haynes there for 8th position, and he slots in now into the 8th position now as they start to go single file and spread out a little bit in the turns now.
Take a look at our leaders here on the backstretch. J.R. Smith running single file. He takes a little bit of a later apex there to get a bigger run through the turn. I think he's going to make that work nicely. But that draft is going to really allow Bradley Holly to stay on that bumper of the 33. J.R. Smith, he's looked fast the last 2 rounds. He just hasn't been able to seal the deal late in the race when it counted. I think he's going to be a threat all throughout the season, and he's definitely showing it here early at Texas.
On board with Holly now, as Holly has actually got a really good run down the backstretch. We'll see what he does with it through 3 and 4 and onto the quad oval up the front. And it looks like he might have taken the corner just a little bit too early, and that made him wash up a little bit and lose some speed here down the front stretch.
Big bumpers and the big spoilers on the back of these trucks. When you're tucked in underneath a truck like that Holly was, your vision is honestly quite impaired. It's hard to judge your corner entry. A couple of guys dealing with corner entry struggles are back in 6th place right now. Brendan Chatley runs there. Ahead of them, they're side-by-side, Hartman and Sumner.
Not quite side-by-side, but Hartman's definitely trying for it. He's going on the inside now here on the quad oval. He's actually alongside Charles Sumner right now, and we'll see whether he can make the move into 1 and 2. Looks like he's going to carry the momentum there on the bottom. Just stick to that white line and make the pass.
Hartman gets it done for 5th for now. Takes a little bit of a defensive line down the backstretch. Didn't want anyone to get the draft. Sumner behind him getting...
Yeah, Chatley's right up against the bumper of Sumner there. Sumner looks like he's struggling a little bit. Maybe he got his tires a little hot, but looks like Chatley's going to go underneath here for that 5th position.
And he's going to be followed by the 5 of Sharn Hill, and I think the 29 of Rob Haynes was looking to follow him as well. He might be looking to follow him down here into 3 and 4. Yeah, I think he might be a little far back for now.
And back in P11, Mike Richter hit the wall coming out of 1 and 2. That's not going to help you here. Damage, these trucks are very damage sensitive at these high speeds with how heavy and how boxy they are pushing through the air. So that's going to be that's not going to help him at all with these high speeds in this draft package.
Yeah, the race for that red and black number 51 truck continues to go south here for the Texan. He was up into 3rd, and after the long pit stop there, as he even hit the apron there a bit, things not looking great for Richter right now, but he's got time to rebound, as all of these drivers do.
It looks like J.R. Smith has pulled out about a 1/4 of a second lead now on Bradley Hawley up front. They're starting to string out just a little bit. J.R. Smith asserting his presence here in this race. He's really showing that these 1.5 miles might be where he shines in this series.
Yeah, he showed good speed last week at Rockingham as well on that unique 1 mile track. It's a 1 mile track, but it kind of has a lot of characteristics that a 1.5 mile track does with the speed and the front stretch.
Now, it looks like everyone's strung out pretty nice and neat and tidy right now. Everyone's just logging some laps and making sure that they've managing their stuff. These trucks are starting to get a little tight here as we take a look at Charles Sumner again. Yeah, these guys are they're bunched up, but none of them are really making a move here. I think these trucks are getting a little uncomfortable to drive, a little tight into the corner and a little loose off, and that is really terrifying at these high speeds, quite frankly.
Riding along on the tail end with Charles Sumner here. Driver out of Florida in the 98 truck. He's running P7 right now. That's Rob Haynes behind him in the 29.
Definitely, and the leaders are catching some lap traffic now. No factor, don't need to go to it, but these lap cars are going to maybe cause some issues, but I mean, with everyone being as respectful as they are in this series, I wouldn't expect that. Here we go, the 29 taking a look underneath, possibly, of the 98 of Charles Sumner, but he decides to slap back in and try it again later.
A little bit of a skirmish for 14th place. Austin Hunter just took that spot. Ray Richer, I think he might have gotten to the wall a little bit. He's a bit off the pace.
Yeah, that was a big bang onto the wall. We're going to go to the replay here, and I think you're just going to see just the natural nature of these trucks as they get onto these longer runs. You don't back up the corner, and then you got to ease it coming through, because if you don't, watch him, he gets a little loose and a little tight, and then that truck just pushes up off there and just bammo straight into the wall.
He gets it back going again, but he's got a bit of right side damage, especially on that right front. Hopefully it's not crumpled up too heavily. Let's go back up to 3rd place because Thomas Sink is under all kinds of pressure. William Hartman has been looking really fast here in the first 27 laps of this race. He started 8th, he's already up to 4th, and he's all over the back of Sink.
A lot of drivers can drive fast trucks when they've got fresh tires. This is going to be the true test of the mettle of how good these drivers are at tackling these trucks when they start to lose grip. It looks like Sink might not have it right now, as Hartman is starting to really gain on it.
Yeah, Thomas Sink Looks like his truck is just a little too tight going through the turn. Behind them, bit of a traffic jam involving some lap traffic. This is around 8th place. Robert Basaw Jr. is the lap truck on the high side getting out of the way, but that's Sumner, Haynes, and Lane down low. It's caused a little bit of a checkup for all of them with the 22 being out there.
And Lane was almost into the back of Rob Haynes going through 1 and 2. That's definitely not what you want to do. If you get somebody loose here, they're not recovering. So here we go on board with Colton Lane as he's got a nice run. He's tucking up right underneath that rear bumper of Rob Haynes. And maybe he'll pull out here and make a pass. Nope, he decides to stick it out. Looks like everyone's just content. They're trying to get to green flag pit stops, I think, Nick.
I think they might be. I'm sure they'd love to see that. Colton Lane drove pretty aggressively the last lap before that, and down low once again. Haynes looking for that spot around Sumner. He might have the run. I don't know if he's going to have enough to pull up alongside of him here, though, on the quad oval.
It looks like the leaders of Bradley, Hawley, and J.R. Smith have caught up to another lap car. That's the 27 of Danny Duchesne. Danny Duchesne caught up in that earlier wreck, which is very unfortunate, especially with the strong run he had at Rockingham.
For 3rd place right now, Hartman looking underneath Sink. He almost made that work, but Sink shut the door on him, and Hartman washed up the track a bit, and you can see just how much of ground that lost Hartman, because he was all over the bumper, as you saw moments ago on Sink. Just that little bit of a wash up the track here, and these high 24-degree banks really hurt him.
Yep, it's all about managing that momentum, managing energy. It's just like flying a plane. You got to manage how much energy you're giving away with every single move of the wheel. At these high-speed tracks, that really matters. And him getting stuck now underneath the 27 of Danny Duchesne really affecting his exit, and that's just going to let Thomas Sink get away even more. Now up to almost a second. Almost half a second.
He's got pressure behind him from the 5th place truck of Brendan Chatley. He's been on a tear here early. He started just barely inside the top 10 in 9th, and he's looking for 4th. But behind him, he's got pressure from Sharn Hill as well. Pressure from drivers anywhere you look on track right now.
And actually, the battle for 7th is starting to heat up as Charles Sumner and Colton Lane battling, and Sumner has to give up the spot because of Danny Duchesne being up high and give it to Colton Lane, who got underneath him. Colton Lane using Danny Duchesne as a pick.
Yeah, and Duchesne not necessarily doing anything wrong out there. His truck's got damage. He's trying to log some laps here for the sake of the points. Can't blame him. Just wrong place, wrong time for Charles Sumner there. Ahead of them, Chatley and Hill are at a little bit wiggly out of turn number 4. Sharn Hill on the bottom. This is for 5th place. Hill would like to put that number 5 in the number 5 position.
Definitely. Sharn Hill actually having a pretty good run this stint. His pit stop did not go particularly well, but he's starting to move up the field now, and I think he'll have Chatley in a couple laps if everything stays as it is right now. We got Rob Haynes, who just went by Charles Sumner. Well, Charles Sumner was battling actually back with Rob Haynes there. Sumner not having the greatest of runs right now. He's back 4 positions from his starting position, and so here he is trying to get that position back from Rob Haynes.
And for 5th, it looks like they're side by side once again with Chatley and Hill. Hill down low, trying to tuck on that white line. You really don't want to bounce your truck off of the apron here. Not so much that it'll unstable it, like other mile-and-a-half tracks will, but you will lose a lot of momentum. And Hill just couldn't quite find the perfect balance there through turns 3 and 4. He'll try again here in 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like the preferred line in 3 and 4 is actually starting to become the middle line, whereas in 1 and 2, they're still hugging the white line, making a little bit of a late apex so they can get a good shot off on the backstretch. Here we go on board with Sharn Hill right now. Just take a look as they get off here. It's scary to go through the corner a little higher, but it actually might give you a better launch off if you can keep it out of the wall and exit.
And a pretty natural track these drivers have to work with. No traction compound laid down here in the virtual world for these drivers to gain some extra grip on the outside. They've got to build that rubber on the outside. And like you said, through 3 and 4, it looks like that is exactly what is happening. Sharon Hill, though, battling with Chatley, has caused Lane and Haynes to pull in, and we've got a 4-truck line once again here.
Definitely, yeah. These guys are all strung out and all trying to figure out a way to get by. It's starting to become time to go if you're going to make some kind of move before the pit stops. Wow, they really bunched up there coming off of 1 and 2. I really think Sharon Hill is got a good look here on Chatley. Chatley's struggling through 1 and 2 right now, and he's actually might have the pass here down on the bottom.
That momentum's going to shift back to Chatley. Watch out for the 60 of Colton Lane down low. He had the opportunity to make it 3 wide there, but that would have been quite the risky maneuver. The 5 of Sharon Hill had the position that time. The 60 of Lane's going to peek in underneath 3 wide through turn 2 and on to the backstretch. It is a 3 wide drag race. Now down into turn 3. Who is going to give?
Looks like Sharon Hill decided he's going to survive another day and let Brendan Chatley and Colton Lane fight it out. Oh, wow. Chatley gets a little, Chatley gets a little loose there with Colton Lane just sticking it in the middle.
The 60 of Lane got a little bobble off the nose of the 5 of Hill. Just a tad bit, and the 60 all over the back of Chatley there on the backstretch, bump drafting down the back. Lane might have even touched the wall there just briefly, but Hill still down low. Don't forget, Rob Haynes is in this mix as well. He's looking down low, and Charles Sumner in 9th pulling in as well.
I don't know, Nick. What do you think? Do you think these trucks are a handful right now? It's quite crazy here as these continue to go side by side in this 4 and now 5 car battle.
The 5 really trying hard to hold down the pedal while holding down the lane down there on Colton Lane, who's stuck on the outside right now. Brendan Chatley has the top position in this battle, but they kind of diamond out a little bit behind him. Colton Lane up top, he's going to get a big run, but he's not going to have much room to work with. Peeks his nose to the outside, the right rear quarter panel there of Chatley. But he just can't get a huge run of momentum. He's got help from the 29 behind him now through turns 1 and 2. Let's see if he can make this work on the backstretch.
They're going to really bunch up here, and it looks like, oh my God, Sharon Hill looking low right now. It's another 3-wide battle going into 3 and 4. The 29 of Rob Haynes is sticking it out on the outside. They're going to get really close here as they come to the exit, but it looks like Sharon Hill's going to duck in again, and Chatley just holding up this pack right now. Take a look at Colton Lane, already pulling a 0.3 second gap in front. Oh, as the 29 of Rob Haynes hits the wall entering 1 and 2.
The 29 was forced to climb the hill there by Sharon Hill, and it did not work out. Kissed the wall just a bit on the outside, but was able to keep the momentum going. I think that help from the 59 in front of him really played a factor in that. Sharon Hill still very aggressive down low. Aggressive but clean. They're so tight coming out of turn 4. Back onto the front stretch. The 5's got a big run. Chatley with a little bobble ahead of him. And Chatley's going to clear Rob Haynes to the outside, but Hill still has the momentum through 1 and 2. He's going to be pushing him off of 2. And a little bit of contact. He stays down low as Chatley moves back high into turns 3.
These trucks are extremely tight right now, and especially the ones that have been battling. Oh, and we have a spin up ahead. It looks like that's the 48 of Thomas Singh who's been spun.
Sharon Hill absolutely nailed him as well. And a disappointing end to this race for Sharon Hill. He was having such a good run. Thomas Sink, this all started battling for 3rd, him and Will Hartman. Hartman in the 67, that bright yellow truck on the bottom, just a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, we'll take a look right now, and we'll look at it from Hartman's point of view. From what I'm seeing on the track, it looks like those two just kind of met in the middle. Hartman was getting a little loose, and it looks like the 48 was just coming down a little bit, and they just met in the middle, and Sink goes around, and he's holding the brake and doing everything right, but then he slides down and gets clobbered by the number 5.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, and Sharon Hill has already retired from this race. His third place finish last week at Rockingham will not be repeated here at Texas. Nowhere to go for him there. It's so hard to predict where a truck's going to go on track like that.
All right, we're taking a look now live. We have a bunch of people in the pits, but strangely enough, one of them who did not pit is Charles Sumner. He has decided to stay out and inherit the lead as Bradley Hawley wins the race off a pit road, followed by J.R. Smith, Rob Haynes, and Brendan Chatley and William Hartman.
Yeah, J.R. Smith losing the lead there, not just because of Sumner staying out, but because Bradley Hawley jumped him in the pits. This is going to be interesting. I wonder if Sumner's going to duck in to pit road here, or if he's got a little bit of an alternative strategy in that 98 machine.
Yeah, he might decide to stay out and see how many cautions he can catch, because, I mean, we're getting late in the race. It's lap 47 out of 85, so he might decide to stay out and see what he can do, but it looks like he's actually decided to come into the pits right now.
Might be a wise idea. Don't know if that was going to work. Maybe later in the race that would be an interesting strategy to play around with, but right now I think he might have gotten run over on the start. Looks like a couple of wave around trucks ahead of Hawley here. Looks like Robert Waddell is going to get one of his laps back. He's many laps down from a previous incident. Got caught up in the big one there at the very beginning.
Definitely, and Robert Waddell been doing the good thing and staying on the outside, just letting all the lead lap cars by. It's really hard to make up laps here at these fast tracks, especially with the amount of damage that he has. Unfortunately, he's not going to be battling for the lead, but there are still points on the table.
There are bonus points as well that we've talked about previously. A pole will get you 2 bonus points. Having the most laps led will get you 2 bonus points. Leading at least 1 lap, but not the most, will be 1 bonus point. And if you can have under 4 incident points as well, that will also get you a bonus point. I think we might see a couple of those bonus points for the less than 4 incidents play out here at Texas instead of a track like Martinsville or Rockingham.
Definitely, and I know we're not supposed to do math on microphone. I do believe that Bradley Hawley has sealed those 2 points for leading the most laps at this point.
He's at least got 1 in his pocket for leading a lap. Pace lights are out here coming onto the backstretch. He's going to have the lead once again. J.R. Smith led a little bit, most of that previous stint there. They make up row 1. Rob Haynes has moved into 3rd after starting 14th. Great race for him so far here in the 29 truck. And he's got Brendan Chatley to his outside, who's also moved up 5 spots since the start. Will Hartman and Colton Lane making up row 3, but it is the two of the 4 Texas drivers here at the front of the field, Hawley and Smith. Which Lone Star State driver will take it, or will it be an outsider? We will find out here. Just over halfway through this race, the pace car pulling off, and Bradley Hawley going early, going as soon as he can as the green flag is back out in the air here in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series at Texas. Lap number 50 is what they are coming up to, and Hawley goes down into turns 1 and 2. A little bit of a gap behind him. Brendan Chatley, though, behind him, way on the outside.
Yeah, he's stranded up there right now as these trucks are working well on the bottom end, but actually Colton Lane bumping Rob Hayes into 3 and 4. He's going to have to back off a little bit, but as we see, Chatley still stuck on the outside, getting passed by Hartman right now through 3 and 4 onto the front stretch.
And almost an accident behind him, Nicholas Delp. We might want to take a replay at the huge save that Nick Delp had there on the last lap when we get a moment. Let's take a look at this. Nick Delp in the 58 lost a ton of positions, but he almost lost his entire race. Quite the handful he had here.
He gets a little bit help from behind, and he just manages to hang on to it all a couple of pro drivers as we take a look at the battle for the lead. It looks like J.R. Smith has decided now is his time, and he's going to try and go as he makes a purple lap, fastest lap for J.R. Smith.
He not only has those fresh Goodyear tires underneath that number 33 Silverado, but he also has the draft ahead of him in Bradley Holly. And I must say, Bradley Holly chasing J.R. Smith that last stint did not do nearly as well keeping in touch with him as J.R. Smith did with Holly on the first green flag cycle we had. So J.R. Smith's definitely got a lot of speed.
We have a big mess of trucks right here. We have Dominic Pagine, oh my goodness, as Eric Roberts gets a little high there, almost into the 89 of Alec Lumpkin, as Nicholas Delp going underneath him right now. We also have Charles Sumner also packed up in this big pack.
It's a herd of cattle back here trying to break into the top 10. And they are taking up as much room as they need to. Charles Sumner trying to fight his way back up after coming out last after the pit stop cycle. In front of him, Nick Delp recovering nicely from his scare. Eric Roberts ahead of them is in 11th, and looks like they might be settled down a little bit. So let's go jump back up to the lead, where Holly still is maintaining that P1 position, but J.R. Smith looking ever so fast right behind him.
With the speeds they're running, you actually get quite a bit of aero push off the back of these trucks. It may look easy just looking at it like they're just turning left, but trust me when I say that, one, this track is bumpy, and two, with the aerodynamics of these trucks, J.R. Smith is having to manage a lot of different things and try and keep that truck from not pushing up into the wall on corner exit. He's got a run looking here on the front straight.
He's got the run as we come up to 30 laps to go here in round 3 of the PRL NASCAR Truck Series at Texas. J.R. Smith, he's got that draft. Does he have the confidence to get around him, or does he want to get around him right now? Is he content just sitting back here putting the pressure on Holly?
I don't know, it looks to me like J.R. Smith is really working the truck, trying to find a way to get some speed, to get something different going on, maybe make Bradley Holly block a lane that he's not going to take. He's trying everything right now, I think, to get by.
Change for third place. William Hartman has just overtaken Rob Haynes through turns 1 and 2, and Colton Lane behind him in the 60 truck, putting all kinds of pressure on the 29 of Haynes going into turn number 3 as well.
He took a defensive line into 3, moving down the track to keep Colton Lane from diving down there. A smart move, but he's going to have to do it again into 1 and 2 if he's going to keep Lane behind him.
Rob Haynes to the outside once again. Hartman taking a big swing into that corner, and he's going to make the most of that as well. Pulls a bit of a gap over the 60 truck, and this group of 3 or 4 trucks here starts to spread out.
Definitely, yeah. I think Haynes decided the better of it and not to burn up his tires trying to do that battle. He's going to back off a little bit and save his tires for another fight. As we go back to P7, take a look at at the battle between Mike Richter and Austin Hunter here for P7.
Looks like we may have had a bit of a change for position right ahead of him. Brendan Chatley just overtook Rob Haynes. Let's take a look at this replay. This was for 5th place. Chatley getting around Haynes. Down into 1 and 2, it looks like.
And he just sticks it down to 1 and 2 here. And as they go into the corner, he's just going to hold that white line. And, oh man, he manages to hold it onto the white line. That is not easy to do through 1 and 2, but he's using up a lot of tires to do that as we go back live.
Does use up a lot of tires. They have fresh tires right now. The battle for the lead right now is getting good. A big run through turns 3 and 4 there for J.R. Smith. He had to go to the outside of Bradley Holly on the front stretch to keep that momentum going. He's going to take another big swing down here into 1 and 2. A late apex, and he's got a big run looking to the bottom.
And not only did he have to go high to keep the momentum going, he had to go high to stay out of the back of Bradley Holly. J.R. Smith had a really good run through 3 and 4. He's going to do it again, it looks like. He's going to go high again, but this time he has to back off mid-corner, and so he's going to lose a lot of momentum here down the front stretch.
J.R. Smith doesn't want to push it too much. We saw there with Chatley getting around Haynes that will really put a lot of strain on the tires if you keep that up lap after lap, and we still got a ways to go here, just on lap 62 of 85, so a lot of rubber yet to be burnt up here in the hot Texas sun.
We've got a bunch of groups just 2 by 2 right now as people try and make their way by other trucks. And as we take a look now at P5, Brendan Chatley and Rob Haynes, another similar battle as Rob Haynes is looking everywhere for a lane here to try and get by Chatley. These trucks are starting to get tight again as this run progresses. The sun's going down, which makes these trucks have more grip initially, but they'll still start to wash out as the run goes on.
I'm starting to see a little bit of a golden glimmer on the track in parts. 7:30 virtual standard time here in Fort Worth for these guys. Track temp down to 77 degrees right now.
A pretty significant wind, actually. 11 miles an hour out of the east. That's going to seriously affect the trucks as they're going at these high speeds. Going to give them a little bit of buffet as they go down the straights.
That might be a little bit of a factor of why we've seen some of these guys really struggle down low to hold it. Not just because they're trying to save tires, but there you saw again J.R. Smith lose a little bit of ground to the leader, Bradley Holly. Just a big shift of momentum for that number 33 truck.
Yeah, I like to talk about whenever I'm racing with my teammates when the tires hit that switch, and it looked like Smith's tires hit that switch as we go now to P9. That's the battle between Ray Richer and Eric Roberts.
That's Roberts in the 28 on the outside. Or sorry, inside rather. He's trying to make that position work, trying to gain that spot. I think he's going to have it. He's got a little bit of aero help from Charles Sumner in the 98 behind him as well, who rides in 11th. He's looking for that spot as well to break into the top 10. I think he's going to have it too.
Definitely, and Ray Richer polished his paint a little bit on the exit of 3 and 4. Not a big hit, just a scrape, but that was enough. That push up was enough to make him lose those 2 positions.
Ray Richer may have, we might see a victim there of burning up your tires. Looks like they got around him pretty easily there on the inside, or he might just be playing the safe game, but either way, if he keeps that up, he's not going to be Richer in the points.
Mike Richer's under pressure right now from Austin Hunter as they go into 3 and 4. Richer's trying to take a nice wide line into these corners, moving up to that second lane that was working so well during the last stint, whereas Austin Hunter can still... Oh, wow! Mike Richer hard to the wall.
Problems there for Mike Richter getting into the wall, but Austin Hunter does get around him. He's got a comfortable gap back to the next 2 trucks coming through, Eric Roberts and Charles Sumner coming through. But a battle for a lead. We can't look away from that because J.R. Smith down low. Very aggressive through turns 3 and 4, but the momentum kind of looks like it shifted back to Holly. J.R. Smith gonna have the inside here once again in 1 and 2.
As they go by a lap car that stays very high, yeah, Smith really had to gas it through 3 and 4 to stay off the door, and he's going to go up again. He's really trying to be respectful of Bradley Holly and not knock him around. It's not that late in the race yet, but as Holly moves down and covers him off into 3 and 4.
Holly was bouncing his truck off the apron. Holly gets a little bit of a shove through 3 and 4 there. But from J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith stays up high, and he's going to try to arc this turns 1 and 2. 16 laps to go. He's wanting this position now more than ever.
Wow, Holly just made it stick through 1 and 2 there. Looks like he's got some more tires to spend. J.R. Smith's been burning up his, trying to get in behind Holly. Holly might decide now's the time to go. As we go on board right now with William Hartman, who's actually gaining on these 2 guys as they battle it out.
Yeah, I've been saying throughout the broadcast how that Hartman's been looking fast, and he has been slowly creeping up on these two Texan drivers ahead of him. The driver out of Michigan, William Hartman, would love to creep up on him and take this win away from him.
Definitely. The front four have broken away by almost 3 seconds now, and they're really starting to pull away and get into a good draft right now, making good time out there up front.
Change for position in 8th place. Eric Roberts got around Mike Richter just now, it looks like. And Nick Delp looking on the inside to get around Richter. Richter might be struggling with some damage on that 51 truck.
Yeah, these truck drivers are being extremely respectful, giving people a lot of room. It's all well and good, but I mean, we're at lap 72. There's only 13 laps left. It's time to go, guys.
William Hartman has really charged forward and almost in a Harvick-like essence has come out of nowhere late in this race. J.R. Smith, I don't think was expecting to see Hartman in his mirror battling for P2 here on lap 73.
Definitely not. I think Smith expected to just be battling with Hawley, and so he doesn't. I don't know if he has the tires to defend against Hartman. Hartman's climbing up here, and he might be able to make this pass pretty swiftly. But I'm sure J.R. Smith has some things up his sleeve here.
J.R. Smith still defending right now. William Hartman trying to steal that away. Oh, into the wall goes Smith out of turn 4, and now Hartman's easily going to cruise by him. Colton Lane behind him, he's going to creep up on the 33 as well. Lots of momentum lost for Smith and probably the race.
Here we go on board with Colton Lane. Yes, that's a heavy amount of contact there out of 3 and 4. It's frankly impressive that J.R. Smith was able to keep it together there. I've been in trucks when they've hit the wall that hard, and it's really hard to keep them going straight. That's really impressive driving after that mistake from Smith. But Smith, look at him push up the corner here as Lane goes on the inside, really tight through the quad oval there, and he's going to make this pass.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaking way for this race to play out for J.R. Smith. He was looking so fast all throughout this race. Look back behind him now at 6th place. Austin Hunter looks like he's going to be going by Brendan Chatley for that spot in the 312 truck. Haven't talked about Austin Hunter too much tonight.
Yeah, Austin Hunter making some really good moves. He's up 9 positions from the beginning of the race. There are quite a few big movers right now throughout the race, and he's really plowing forward.
Take a look at the leader of Bradley Holly. He's been battling with J.R. Smith this entire race, but he's got a new paint scheme behind him. That's the bright yellow truck of William Hartman in the 67. And definitely not someone that Holly and Smith have been keeping their eye on this entire race. They're forced to look at him now, though, because Hartman still creeping up on Holly. He's still gaining in on him.
Yeah, Hartman has been making about 0.1, about a tenth a lap on Holly. That is no small feat considering how fast Holly's been all race. So Hartman really pushing today to get up there, and he's going to make up another tenth on that lap. This is far from over.
The Wolverine would love to try to steal the victory from any of the Longhorn drivers. And Hartman continues his charge. He's going to pick up a little bit of the draft here, and he's been doing a great job, like you said, Adam, saving his tires and maintaining this. Hopefully he's saved enough. They come up to 6 laps to go. This is going to get good, folks.
Yeah, Hartman just got his first sniff of aero tightness as well coming out of the corner. So as you can see, he goes high there in 1 and 2, arcing the corner. As we go back to P5, Austin Hunter under pressure from Rob Haynes.
Austin Hunter gaining another spot as Haynes and Chatley are side by side for 6th now. Couple of established traffic control trucks there battling from that spot.
Definitely. It looks like Rob Haynes there in the 29 truck. He's really making some moves. Austin Hunter actually making even more moves. He's up 2 more positions since we even last talked about him. Austin Hunter on a charge. I don't think he has time to get to the front, but man, he's really impressive in this final closing run.
He is indeed. The leaders just went by the lapped truck of Ronald McManus, who is a lap down now, and that caused a little bit of a gap to open up between Holly and Hartman once again. They're down to 4 laps to go as we go back to the front.
Yeah, Hartman looks like he might have run out of steam. Either that or he's saving his stuff for a 3-lap push. We'll see what he does here as he comes through 3 and 4. But Holly commanding in that lead, and Hartman just can't get up to his rear bumper.
Bradley Holly cannot make a mistake in the next 3 laps, but neither can Will Hartman. So we'll take a look at now. A little bit of a battle for 8th place going on as well. Eric Roberts and Nick Delp. Ooh, Delp with a big run on the front stretch right here. He is going to take that spot. So he had a little bobble to start off this long green flag run. Fighting back nicely now. The 28's going to have some momentum on the top side, though.
Yeah,
side by side here.
Definitely is keeping Roberts there stuck on the bottom, trying to make him get a little tight and have to back out of it out of the corners. Here we go. We're going back to the lead for these final 2 laps.
Just a pair of laps left for Bradley Holly to try to hold off William Hartman. A lap and a half now. We'll take a look now, riding along with Hartman, see what kind of line he chooses. He is getting close, but I think this might be too little too late for Hartman. He's had an amazing charge up here, but as they come to the white flag here in Texas, Holly's got a mile and a half left of this to hold on and get a 2nd straight win here in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series. What can Hartman do?
Hartman's going to have to make something impressive happen here on 1-2, but he washes up high. I think that gives Holly a clear run if he can make it safely through 3 and 4. Hartman's going to punch it in late here, but Holly looks like he's sticking it out.
Coming off of turn number 4 and back onto the front stretch, Bradley Holly. His momentum from Rockingham getting the win. He's going to do it again tonight here at Texas, the hometown driver. As we look behind him at P4, Rob Haynes finishing over Austin Hunter, who had a great, fantastic last stint as well. And everyone coming across the line, I'm sure pretty much exhausted after that one. Only a couple of cautions in this one, but it was Bradley Holly getting the win. We are going to take a break here on the Global SimRacing Channel to step aside for just a moment and catch our breath, as well as all of these drivers as they prepare for driver interviews and unofficial results that we'll be running down as well. Welcome back to GSRC's coverage here at Texas Motor Speedway in Fort Worth, Texas. If you're just tuning in, you just missed an 85-lap version of Texas Hold'em, where 22 drivers put it all in, but it was Bradley Holly walking away with the pair of wins. He's going to finish on the top here as we take a look at our finishing results. The 184 truck, once again, gets the win, 2 in a row now for him to start off this season here in round 3. William Hartman, he also put it all in, but came just short. That last car just didn't quite go his way. He's going to finish second with Colton Lane, Rob Haynes, and Austin Hunter, all 3 of them having a great run here late in this race. They all started outside the top 10. They wrap up the top 5. J.R. Smith ran into some problems early, but he led a handful of laps here. He's going to finish 6th. Brendan Chatley 7th, Nick Delp 8th. He had a couple of scares tonight. Eric Roberts 9th, and Mike Richter will round out the top 10.
Definitely, and we have Ray Richer, not to be mistaken for Mike Richter, in 11th position. 12th is Dominic Vagine, and 13th being Alex Lumpkin. Charles Sumner, even after his big push at the end of the race, only coming home in 14th. Not a great race for him tonight. 15th is Ronald McManus. 16th, Robert Bassad Jr. 17th, the unfortunate truck of Danny Duchesne, who got into the wreck early, as well as Thomas Sink in 18th, 39 laps down. Sharon Hill in 19th, 41 laps down. And Robert Waddell in 20th, 52 laps down.
And the 11th row of drivers goes to John LaBaff, the Martinsville winner, to kick off the season, and Brian Benedict, one of the 4 drivers out of Texas tonight. They both got in the big one, the big 4 or 5 car truck accident early in this race. They finished 74 laps down to round out the field, and we have caught up with Bradley Holly in the 184 truck. 2 in a row for you, Brad.
Yes, sir.
We saw you battling that whole race with J.R. Smith, and he had a fast truck, unfortunately got into the wall. Do you think if he didn't get in the wall, he would have gotten you there at the end, or did you think you saved enough tires to hold him off there?
I would like to think so. I know he's always very quick at most tracks, so he's a very tough competitor to keep.
Indeed, he was. I don't know if anyone, especially us up here in the booth, we didn't see it coming. Did any of the drivers up front ever think about William Hartman coming to spoil the party there late at the end of the race?
Williams is a very fast driver. I had a feeling he was going to be there like he was at Rockingham. I consider him one of the threats every week.
Yeah, definitely is. He's definitely been gaining a lot of speed here in the first 3 weeks. I talked about in Rockingham how you were coming over to Texas, your home iRacing region, but Texas is a big state. Are you anywhere close geographically to Texas Motor Speedway? You could still be about 5 hours away from it.
That's about right. I'm down in Houston, so I'm about 4.5 hours from the track.
Well, I'll still call it a hometown win. Texas is a large shared plot of land for you, but you did fantastic tonight, holding off everyone. You just looked like the fastest truck out there. So many different parts of the race. We've seen you win at Rockingham, a 1-mile track. Seen you win here at Texas, a 1.5 mile track. Bristol next week with a 1/2 mile track. Is there any way to predict how fast you're going to be there?
Hopefully I'm fast there. I mean, Bristol's a short, high bank track can be unpredictable. So I'm gonna have my hopes high at that track.
Yeah, the high banked tracks have been serving you well so far. Before we let you go for the night, is there anyone you want to give a thank you or a shout out to here in Victory Lane?
All the guys in PRL for putting on another good race, and my sponsor, North Star Title, for sponsoring me this.
All right, I'm sure they're loving seeing that truck pull into Victory Lane for the 2nd week in a row, and hopefully they will see you pull into Victory Lane once or twice more this season.
Yes, I hope so.
That was Bradley Holly getting his 2nd win in a row, and coming just shy of that victory tonight was William Hartman, who, Adam, you have caught up with.
That's right. William, you had pole in Martinsville, had bad luck there, finished 2nd in Rockingham, 2nd here. Man, dude, like, when do you think you're going to catch a break?
I don't know. I was hoping tonight would be the night, but came up just a little bit short. But great race by Bradley there. He was definitely the truck to beat for the end run there. I thought I could get up to him and maybe put a little pressure on him there at the end, but he never cracked. So a great drive by him, and congrats to him on the win.
Yeah, you and Bradley seem like a pair we're seeing finish on the front row a lot. So do you think you're going to be battling with him all season long for the championship?
Oh, man, it sure looks like it, and I hope I can be in that position for sure. Yeah, he's definitely a great driver, and we've been having some fortunate finishes here at the end of these races. I told him after the race I thought that tailgate looked familiar, seeing it for a good portion of the race last week. So hopefully we get a couple more breaks to go our way and can get a little bit better of a qualifying effort. That way we can stay up front a little more of the race and not have to work our way back up through the field so much. So hopefully that comes within the next couple of races and we can get a good break.
Definitely. And you did well at the last super short track, Martinsville. What do you think about your chances going into Bristol next week?
Man, I absolutely love Bristol and the trucks. A lot of fun, but it's definitely a lot can happen throughout the course of a race. It's definitely can turn into a race of attrition. Hopefully it's not that way next week, but we'll definitely we'll come with we'll be well prepared, and hopefully we can come out of there with a good finish and all the quarter panels and nose still on the car.
Definitely. Hopefully you come home with a clean truck next week. And so before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank tonight? Yeah,
I just got to thank all the teammates over there at Savage Drive. Those guys are awesome. Premier Carpentry and Painting for being on the truck throughout the course of the season. And then got to thank you guys over at GSRC. Your broadcasts are second to none. Can't thank you guys enough for everything you do for us.
Well, thank you for putting on a really good show, William. And that's going to do it for our interview with William Hartman. And we have Nicholas Smeg, who has caught up with Colton Lane, our third place driver.
I have indeed. And Colton, you had, I want to say a quiet race, but every time we looked at you, you were battling really hard with someone else.
Yeah, you pretty much had to out there. All the trucks are kind of even and they're kind of tight. So until they got, longer into a run, that's when everybody started to kind of even out. Not even out, but, the people who save tires would rise to the top and stuff like that.
Yeah, the different grooves out there we saw change throughout the night. It looked like from our standpoint that maybe the groove was going higher and higher up as the track as the race went on. Was that about right?
It seemed like if you wanted to make a pass, that might be your best bet, would be get at the outside of somebody and then maybe try to hold them down there a little bit and try to get the best run off the corner that you could yourself. But I preferred the low line. Everybody did, but you couldn't really pass.
Yeah, we definitely saw you and a couple other drivers really take advantage of saving tires there at the end. Was that easier as the night got cooler and cooler, or did that not seem to have too much effect on it?
I'm not really sure if the coolness really affected the tire saving, but it definitely probably made the track faster.
Yeah, indeed. A lot of drivers able to take advantage of that, you being one of them. You started way back in 12th tonight, which has been a number that's stuck with you because you finished 12th at Martinsville and 12th at Rockingham. So you finally broke the streak of being in the dozen spot. With the third place tonight, is that more of a good luck fluke, or were the first two races bad luck for you?
I would say it was bad luck. I got a little bit of contact in both races. It kind of sent me behind and really, had me have a bad night. But tonight was clean for me and was able to run clean and work my way back up to the top despite of, pretty poor qualifying, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And the million-dollar question that we've asked both of our top two finishers so far, they both seem to be very excited heading into the Coliseum at Bristol. Are you looking forward to that as well?
I'm definitely interested in it. It's the closest track to me. I guess you would say it's my home track for NASCAR stuff. So we'll see. I don't think I'm necessarily the best there, but you always got to love going to Bristol.
You do indeed. And hopefully we get to talk to you there again after another great run. But other than that, congratulations on your podium tonight.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
That was Colton Lane, your third place finisher, just 2 spots behind, once again, Bradley Holly taking home the checkered flag tonight. It is going to be it for us tonight. We want to give a special thank you to everyone who came out tonight for the third round in the PRL NASCAR Truck Series, especially everyone who helps in the organization and behind-the-scenes logistics in the Precision Racing League. We also want to thank Established Traffic Control once again for sponsoring tonight's race, and an additional thanks to all the amazing companies that provide software and hardware that we use to create a GSRC production for you. We also, of course, want to thank the very talented June Lalonde, who provides our music. See the screen for more on how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team tonight, Adam, Sean, and Dougie. Make sure you check out the GSRC on social media. You can do that at our website on globalsimracingchannel.com, on Twitter at GSR Channel, on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, on Instagram at GSRC_Graham, and of course on our YouTube channel right here, right now. We invite you to scroll down just a touch and hit that big red subscribe button so you don't miss a second of racing. That's going to do it tonight for the racing here in Texas, but that is not going to be all here on the Global Sim Racing Channel, because round 3 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series is happening tonight at 10:35 Eastern at Kentucky Speedway over on the iRacing Esports Network. I highly recommend you head over there for some more exciting motorsports. The PRL NASCAR Truck Series will as well be back next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern for round 4 at the Last Great Coliseum in Bristol, Tennessee. Mark your calendars and come join us for that as well. Finally, with all that being said, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast tonight. And until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.